In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brougham Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. I'm Greg Sexton, and you are watching Game 2 of the doubleheader of the SBU webcast here. The Northwest Nazarene women's team was in earlier, and SBU got their first win in conference play on the women's side. This game is a big game here coming up here. Northwest Nazarene is in second place right now in the conference, 9-3. 16-4 overall. SBU is on a roll. They have won 6 in a row. They are the GNAC team of the week, and they are 9-4 now in conference, just a half game back of the Nighthawks for second in the conference. Central Washington is at 10-2. So if the Falcons are able to keep up their winning ways, they could potentially end up looking at first place in the GNAC. But a long way to go and a lot of tough games to get there. Falcons 13-11 overall, but 9-4 in conference, and they are being introduced now. 6-game winning streak on the line for SPU tonight, as Northwest Nazarene going to be a big test for them. The Nighthawks, coached by John Hawkins, he's in his second season as a head coach, was on the coaching staff as an assistant previously under Paul Rush. He's going to go with Biggie Ryzen Bergerson, known as Biggie, senior out of Boise, Idaho. Sullivan Menard, a senior from Wasilla, Alaska. Kai Dixon, a junior out of Toronto, Ontario, who is just tearing up the league. Yaru Harvey, a senior from Sacramento, California. And Briggs Ranstrom, a redshirt sophomore from Eagle, Idaho. The Nighthawks really... it was under Paul Rush, actually. They were the number 6 seed in the GNAC tournament a couple of years ago before John Hawkins took over as the head coach, and they went on a run and won the GNAC tournament as the number 6 seed. The Falcons, coached by Kefri Fazio, he's in his second year as a head coach, had the interim tag removed this year. He's going to go with Owen Moriarty, a junior out of Seattle, Jackson Knapp, a junior out of Newcastle, who will be in the circle here in a moment, jumping it up against Kai Dixon. Jonas Latour, a redshirt sophomore from across the water in Polesville, Washington. Mason Landak, a redshirt junior from across the state in Kashmir, Washington, sort of, Central Washington. Trace Evans, a junior, the longest trip to get here. He's out of New South Wales, Australia. And the Nighthawks win the opening tap, and here we go. Good ball game. Second place in the conference on the line tonight. Whoever wins this will be in second at the end of the night. Falcons a half game back of the Nighthawks. And here is Harvey kicking it out to Dixon for a 3. And that one comes up short, and the rebound to Jackson Knapp. And he collects another one, as he has done many times. Falcons coming off a win at Western Washington on Saturday. They were down 2. I'm trying to remember now whether they're down 1 or 2, but anyway, they hit a game-winning 3. Grant Coleman hit the 3 as Jonas Latour misses on a 3 here, and the Nighthawks come down with the rebound. As that 3 by Grant Coleman, he just had 6 points in that game, but kept the 6-game win streak, pushed the win streak to 6, I should say, as another shot off the mark, and Latour with the rebound for SPU. Here's Landak. Landak went for 31 at Simon Fraser last Thursday, a week ago, and that was his season high, career high. Here's Trace Evans in the post, kicks it to Moriarty. Moriarty pulls up for the floater, and that one's off the mark. He's able to get his own rebound, though, and he follows it up with a bucket. And the Falcons lead it 2-0 here in the opening minute and a half. As one game in the books tonight already. Western Washington with a win over Western Oregon down in Monmouth. And another couple of games going on. We'll recap the GNAC scoreboard at halftime for you. This is Brandstrom, and Landeck gets a hand in the passing lane and comes the other way. Goes around Bergerson and lays it up and in. And Landeck with the steal and the score. And the Falcons lead it 4-0. Mason Landeck, as I mentioned, 31 at Simon Fraser a week ago. And then on Saturday at Western Washington, Moriarty had an off night, so did Latour. But Falcons were still able to pull that one out. Landeck, as Harvey is called for traveling, and the Falcons will take it back the other way. Landeck and Knapp and Evans did the bulk of the scoring in that game. Moriarty had 2 points, and Jonas Latour had 1. Not often you see both of those guys go cold, and still the Falcons able to get the win. Here's Moriarty coming down the lane, lays it up with the left hand, and he already is past his point total that he put up at Western Washington on Saturday. Moriarty averaging for the Falcons 15.1 points a game. And on the other side for the Nighthawks, Kai Dixon just short of 19. He's at 18.9 points per ball game. And a newcomer to the Nighthawks program this year. And a big piece for them. Here's a 3 on the way from Brandstrom, and he knocks it down. And the Nighthawks are on the board. Falcons had a 6-0 lead, but the Nighthawks cut that in half. Landeck being guarded by Harvey. And now Evans is going to drive and kick it back out. Latour, now Moriarty gets it to Knapp in the key. And Knapp goes up with the jump hook and puts it up and in. Jackson Knapp gets on the board for the Falcons. And they lead it by a count of 8-3. Kai Dixon with the ball. Gets it to Brandstrom at the free throw line. Now out to Biggie Bergerson. Bergerson with his younger brother Ray on the team as well. And we may see him in the game. Here is Biggie for a 3, and he leaves it well short, and it's going to go out of bounds. Falcons will take it back. The Bergerson brothers from Boise, Idaho. And Ray Bergerson actually played his high school ball in Spokane at Ferris High School, but is from Boise. As the Falcons will inbound up by 5 in the early going here, 8-3. And Landeck guarded by Bergerson coming across midcourt. Bergerson with the two-tone pink haircut. Hair dye job, I should say. Kind of looks like a yin and yang. As Latour enters it in the post to Evans, and then Moriarty kicks it over in the corner for a 3 from Landeck. And the Falcons lead it 11-3. Falcons have won 6 in a row. Their first 4 were here at home. They had actually a 4-game homestand, which is fairly rare in GNAC play. Typically, you're not going to play more than 3 at home in a row, but a little bit of a quirk in the schedule. They got wins over the Alaska schools to start off their 6-game win streak, as here is Reagan looking for somewhere to go. Brandstrom's going to take the 3, and that one is short, and Latour had the rebound and ends up in the hands of Knapp. Falcons will take it back. Falcons had close wins over both Alaska schools to start the homestand. And a little bit of extracurricular action there as Landeck and Tegan Horde go head-to-head. Tegan Horde out of Spokane, Washington. Went to Central Valley. This will be the first media timeout. 14:52 to play as we get some subs in here for the Falcons. The Nighthawks rather have made some subs already. We will step aside on the SPU webcast. 11-3 your score. SPU with the early lead.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SBU webcast. Falcons with the early lead, 11-3, as Henry Sandberg and Nakia Schoonerstedt check in for SBU. A moment ago, Tegan Horde came on for NNU, and Easton Reagan out there as well. Falcons with possession, Schoonerstedt being guarded out on top by Dixon. And Schoonerstedt's got to look for somewhere to go with the ball and does get it to Sandberg. Now over in the corner, here's Knapp kicking it into the opposite corner for Moriarty. Moriarty gets to the bucket, lays it up and in, and the shot clock expires. And just the Falcons just run out of time there. Moriarty got to the bucket and put it in just a half a second too late. And so the Nighthawks get the shot clock violation called there. And here's Reagan going up against Landeck, shoots over him and puts it in. Easton Reagan, redshirt sophomore, and he is actually in his third year with the Nighthawks program. Redshirted the first year. Here's Schoonerstedt for Landeck. And Landeck will pull up and shoot, and that one may have been he got into it with Tegan Horde a moment ago. This one coming back the other way, though, as Kai Dixon lays it up and in. And it's 11-7. And Landeck needs to just stay under control here. They were tussling for the ball before the timeout. Here's Knapp. And Knapp gets it up and in off the glass as he goes around Briggs Randstrom and fights through some contact for a bucket. Knapp has 4, Landeck has 5, and Moriarty has 4 for SPU in the early going. Here's Bergerson kicking it out. Randstrom another 3 on the way. That one rims in. That one kicked high off the front rim and settled down in the bucket. And Randstrom with a couple of 3s in the game so far. He's got 6 points. And it's a 3-point lead now for SPU. Sandberg swings it to Knapp. He'll kick it back out. And now Landeck near midcourt being guarded by Dixon. Landeck for Moriarty. Thought about it. He'll step back. He's still got some time on the shot clock. Moriarty fakes the pass to Knapp and puts it up and in off the glass. Good move there from Moriarty, looking like he was going to pass to Knapp, and maybe he was thinking about it, but he decides to shoot it off the glass instead, and Moriarty with 6 points to lead the way for SPU in the early going. 15-10. Falcons with the lead. Again, second place in the GNAC on the line tonight in this game. Here's Dixon. Gets it to Brandstrom. He drives. Shot clock running down, and he shoots it over Schoonerstedt and puts it in. I said Brandstrom. It's Briggs Randstrom. Let me get that correct. And it is now 15-12, and Randstrom with 8 points in the ballgame. Here's Jackson Knapp. And he tried to throw it over in the corner to Schoonerstedt, but it's broken up and stolen by the Nighthawks. Here is Dixon. And he will get the shot up, and he's able to draw the foul. And I believe that one is going on Schoenerstedt. No, I'm sorry, it was Sandberg that was called for the foul there. First foul, really, both teams now with just one foul in the game so far in the first 8.5 minutes. So no foul trouble for either side so far. 11:27 to go in the first half. Falcons lead it 15-12. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Rome Pavilion, 11:27 to play in the first half, and the Falcons lead it 15-12. 12 of those 15 points have been in the paint for SPU, as they are shooting 70% from the floor. But Kai Dixon is going to get to the free throw line here. 6'7", 195 is how they have him listed, and he is a little long and lanky. I wouldn't be shocked if he's a little over 200. But Dixon knocks in the first free throw, and we'll get one more here. And that one is good as well for Dixon. I mentioned he averages 18.9 points per game. He's a 75% free throw shooter and has made over 100 free throws on the season. He's attempted almost, actually now he has attempted 150. No, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. He just went up to 141 attempts there. He gets to the bucket and lays it up and in, and Dixon gets the Nighthawks in front 16-15, and he's got 6 points now. Yaru Harvey back out there guarding Mason Landek. And now Zane Foster in for the Nighthawks as well. 7-footer out of Puyallup, Washington. And Harvey knocks it away from Landek. Takes it the other way, and Sandberg with the block on Harvey. But they're going to get him for a foul. Landek was looking for a foul. Could have gotten one on this end as Harvey got the ball, but got some Landek in the face as well. 10:44 to go in the first half, and Yaru Harvey stepping to the free throw line. He's a senior out of Sacramento, California, and has taken on an expanded role with the Nighthawks this year as opposed to the last couple of years. He was coming in off the bench. Bergerson will come back in for Dixon now. Harvey misses on the first free throw, and he will get one more. He's second on the team with 10.9 points per game, and is a 76% free throw shooter, and gets 1 out of 2 here and gets his first point of the game. 17-15, Northwest Nazarene with the lead. They're on a 7-0 run at the moment. Grant Coleman is out there. Gets it to Trace Evans in the post, and Foster able to block this shot, and now Sandberg unable to get one up. Coming the other way, and scooping it up and in off the glass is Easton Reagan. And he's got 4 points in the game and has the Nighthawks out to a 4-point lead. We get a whistle as Moriarty was coming across midcourt and got bumped by Harvey. And they call the foul on Harvey. Jackson Knapp will come back in for Henry Sandberg. And the Falcons with possession about halfway through the first half, down 4. And the Nighthawks on a 9-0 run at the moment. Hasn't happened all at once. The Falcons just have not put any points on the board for a few minutes here. Here's Coleman. hit the game winner the other night, and he tried to get it to Evans in the paint, and goes off of Evans' hands out of bounds. Nighthawks will take it back, and not before a timeout called by SPU, as Kefri Fazio wants to talk things over with his squad. Northwest Nazarene on a 9-0 run. This will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. As both teams now 7 out of 11 from the floor, 64% for the game. And both teams 33% beyond the arc. The Nighthawks 2 out of 6, the Falcons 1 out of 3. Nighthawks are 3 out of 4 at the free throw line, and the Falcons haven't been there yet. The women's team earlier, Grace Turley got to the free throw line 7 times, all in the first half, and made all of them. The women's team went 29 out of 32 from the free throw line in that game, and they got their first conference win of the season, going to 1-12 in conference play with a 93-70 win over the Northwest Nazarene women's team. It was pretty good. They are in 5th place in the GNAC, but they were 8-5, now 8-6 after losing this one here at Royal Brougham tonight. Nighthawks with possession and a 4-point lead. And here's Bergerson taking a 3, and that one rims around and falls in. Not the swish that you want there, but it's 3 points either way. And Bergerson now with his first 3 of the game. Here's Knapp with some contact and couldn't get the shot to go, and was looking for a foul, didn't get it. Nighthawks back the other way. Here's Dixon, and Knapp comes over to get a piece of that one, and the Falcons take it back the other way. Some physical play here in the first half as Moriarty misses off the back iron. And the Falcons have cooled off. Harvey with the ball across midcourt to Dixon. And now Sullivan Menard coming to the top. Bergerson now on the right wing. And Foster, big number 33, 7 feet. As here is Harvey kicking it to Bergerson for a 3 from the corner, and that one is off the iron. Rebound to Jackson Knapp. Jackson Knapp leads the GNAC in rebounds. Moriarty on the left wing. Gets it in the post to Trace Evans. Evans trying to get around Foster. And Bergerson comes from behind to help, and Bergerson comes up with a steal. And Evans having a hard time with Foster on a couple of possessions. Harvey gets to the bucket and lays it up and in. As Evans is 6'9", but Foster 7 feet. And this time Evans gets past Foster and lays it up and in. Gets around him. And Falcons gave up a 14-0 run there. And they finally end it with a bucket from Trace Evans. As the Nighthawks were down 15-10, they went up 24-15, and now it's a 7-point game. Bergerson over the top, and Foster can't connect on the alley-oop. It's out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Falcons. So the alley-oop attempt there, and they can't connect. 7:20 to go here in the first half. And the Nighthawks with a 7-point lead. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SBU webcast. Falcons down 7, and just having broken up a 14-0 run. Grace Turley of the women's team is in the SBU women's team, I should say, is in the building, and her twin brother Cyrus is on the NNU side. Has not checked into the game yet. Here's Knapp getting around Dixon. Couldn't get the shot to go. Got his own rebound. Puts it back up and in. Jackson Knapp fighting through contact there and gets the shot to go. And he has 6 points in the ballgame. Knapp has been the elite rebounder in the GNAC all season. And has kind of picked it up as of late offensively, scoring the ball as well. And a lot of his buckets come in the paint. As the Falcons pull down the rebound, they are down 5. Jonas Latour back out on the floor for SPU. Here's Landeck. Gets it in the corner to Knapp. And now in the post, Evans backs down and can't get the shot to go over Randstrom. And the Nighthawks back the other way. Here's a 3 on the way. Step back from Sullivan Menard, and it's off the mark. Rebound to Latour. Falcons down 5. Just over 6 minutes to go in the first half. Falcons gunning for their 7th straight victory. And it'll be a tough, hard-fought one here tonight if they're able to get it. Evans misses the shot and gets his own rebound and kicks it back out. And now Landeck finds Evans going to the bucket again, and he reverses it up and in. Landeck with the good find there, and Evans now with 4 points in the ballgame. 24-21, as now the Falcons are on a 6-0 run. Here's Menard. Getting it to Randstrom. Reagan goes right around Moriarty and lays it up and in. Moriarty slipped a little bit there, I believe. And Reagan gets the bucket and gets the easy lay-in. He's got 6. Make that 8 for... No, make it 6 for Reagan. There's Jonas Latour connecting on a 3. And the Falcons are within 2, 26-24. Bergerson in the front court, being guarded by Landeck. And now Reagan. We'll get it to Randstrom. Now Reagan coming down the left side, kicks it back out. Dixon with it now. And gets a shot up over Evans and leaves it short. Knapp with another rebound. Ticking down toward 4:30 to play here in the first half. Falcons have an opportunity to tie or take the lead on this possession. This one's been back and forth a little bit. Featured a 14-0 run by Northwest Nazarene. The Falcons never felt like they were out of it. Here's Moriarty stepping around Dixon and puts in the 3, and the Falcons take the lead back. 27-26 now. As it was 24-15, and the Falcons now on a 12-2 run to take the lead right back. 27-26 as we get a full timeout called here, and we will step aside on the SBU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SBU webcast. Owen Moriarty hit a 3 before the timeout. And the Falcons retake the lead. They're on a 12-2 run after surrendering a 14-0 run by the Nighthawks a few minutes ago. But Moriarty now with 9 points to lead all scorers. Falcons shooting 57% from the floor and the Nighthawks 50%. Both teams have knocked down 3 threes. Nighthawks trying to take the lead right back. Harvey on the right wing gets it to Ranstrom. He kicks it out to Bergerson. And Bergerson trying to back into the lane. Has to kick it back out to Harvey. Moriarty got knocked down, got back up. Here's Bergerson, 4 on the shot clock. Kicks it out to Ranstrom for a 3 over Landek. And that one is off the mark. Landek collects the long rebound. Falcons up by a point. And Landek coming down the lane, kicks it out. Here's Evans. Kicks it over to Moriarty. Another 3 on the way. And nothing but twine. Falcons go up by 4. Owen Moriarty back-to-back threes. And he's got 12 points in the ball game. He had an uncharacteristically quiet night in Bellingham on Saturday with just 2 points in the ball game, and Jonas Latour had just 1. And those guys are both averaging in double figures. Moriarty leading the Falcons in scoring. As this one comes out to Reagan. He goes around Latour and scoops it up off the glass. No good. Rebound to Jackson Knapp. And for the Falcons, Knapp with his 6th rebound. Now in the lane, kicks it to Landek. He's going to shoot a 3 over Bergerson, and it's too strong off the back iron. Nighthawks back the other way. Harvey gets around Evans. Couldn't get the shot to go, but Ranstrom is there to clean it up. And Briggs Ranstrom with 10 points in the ballgame. Evans, or Moriarty rather, with 12 for SPU. Ranstrom now the first in double figures for the Nighthawks. And a nice pass from Knapp to Evans at the bucket, and he waits for his opportunity and puts it up and in. Ranstrom and Bergerson were collapsing on him, but he was able to get it up and in between the two of them. 6 points for Trace Evans, 4-point lead for the Falcons with under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Dixon with it on the right wing, being guarded by Knapp. And now Ranstrom out on top. Tried to get it around Evans. It's knocked out of bounds. And it's going to stay with the Nighthawks with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. As Tegan Horde checks back in. And comes in to get Easton Reagan. Nighthawks with just 3 seconds to shoot. Harvey drives, gets around Moriarty, and throws it up off the glass. Did not draw iron. It's a shot clock violation. Falcons will take it back with a 4-point lead and 1:32 to play in the half. Grant Coleman will check in now for Trace Evans. Grant Coleman had 6 points at Western Washington, 3 of them. He hit 2 threes in the game. But the last one was the game winner. Here's Landek pulling up over Bergerson, and that one rattles home for Mason Landek. He's got 7. And the Falcons with a 6-point lead. This has been a back-and-forth game with some runs by both teams. As here's Harvey, and Landek came up with it, but they're going to get Moriarty for a foul. Really not a lot of fouls. A pretty quickly played first half here. We're already down to 1:04 left. And just the 3rd foul on the Falcons. The Nighthawks have only committed 2. Here's Harvey. And Coleman tried to knock it away. Harvey ends up with it. Gets it to Ranstrom, and Ranstrom's going to draw the foul. And I think they're going to get Moriarty again. Fortunately for him, he didn't have any until just a moment ago. Now he's got 2. 50.5 left. And this is going to put Ranstrom at the free throw line. Nighthawks are 3 out of 4 from the stripe, and the Falcons still have not made it to the free throw line tonight. Again, a big contrast from the SPU women's team They went 29 out of 32, including, I believe they were 20 out of, I think they were 20 out of 21 they were in the first half in that game. Missed a couple more in the second half. Ranstrom connects on the free throw, and he's got 11. And he will get one more here, and that one rims out. And Ranstrom ends up with the rebound, gets it to Dixon, and Coleman comes over to block Dixon's shot. He swatted that one away. Falcons the other way with possession now, and Jackson Knapp is going to call a timeout on the other side of midcourt. 37.8 left on the clock, and Kefri Fazio will talk things over with his squad. Falcons not likely to go for a 2-for-1. We'll see how Fazio wants to play it, but trying to at least get one good possession here as the Falcons lead by 5. Nighthawks now 4 out of 6 at the free throw line. Falcons have out-rebounded the Nighthawks 16-9. And the Nighthawks went in the turnover battle. As the Falcons have turned it over 6 times, the Nighthawks just 3. So the Nighthawks are taking good care of the basketball here in the first half. They have 12 points off turnovers, and the Falcons have 6. But the Falcons with that rebounding edge, and they have the edge on the scoreboard. It's a 5-point game. And we'll see if... you don't see a lot of teams trying to play a 2-for-1, getting a quick shot and then leaving some time. That's not how the Falcons are going to play this one. Moriarty gets to the bucket, and it goes too strong off the glass. And the rebound poked out to Bergerson. And now the Nighthawks will have the final possession of the first half. Not a bad look there for Moriarty getting to the bucket, but couldn't connect on the lay-in. So the Nighthawks able to dribble down a lot of the clock. Here's Yaru Harvey kicking it to Bergerson with 5 on the clock. Bergerson trying to go around Landek. Good defense by Landek, but we're going to get a foul called here with 1.6 left. And this one is going to go on Mason Landek. He defended Bergerson well there, but does end up sending him to the free throw line. Bergerson held to just 3 points here in the first half. And he averages over 10 a game, 10.6 to be exact. And Bergerson is just a 63% free throw shooter, and he misses on the first free throw here. Horde and Reagan back in for NNU. And Bergerson with one more free throw coming up here with 1.6 left. And gets it to go. So it's a 4-point game. Falcons 1.6 seconds to get a shot from backcourt, and they're not even going to try it. As Knapp just inbounds it to Landek. That'll do it for the first half. Good ball game here. Second place in the GNAC on the line. Falcons up by 4 at halftime. 34-30. As we saw Northwest Nazarene go on a 14-0 run at one point, but the Falcons roared right back with a run of their own to retake the lead. And it's a 4-point game at the break. We will step aside for about 9.5 minutes or so on the SPU webcast. When we come back, we will recap the first half, and we will take a look at scores around the GNAC. More coming up later on in halftime. We'll be back about
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Bruin Pavilion in Seattle. Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. Falcons with a 34-30 lead over the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks. As this one went back and forth, a couple of big runs. The Nighthawks go on a 14-0 run to turn a 15-10 deficit into a 24-15 lead. But then it was the Falcons' turn to respond. And they close out the half on a 19-6 run to retake the lead by 4. Had actually they got their lead up to 6 at 34-28. A free throw by Randstrom and a free throw by Bergerson at the end of the half got it to a 4-point Northwest Nazarene deficit at the half. Central Washington lost tonight, and we'll go around the GNAC here in just a moment. But Northwest Nazarene actually has a chance to pull into a first-place tie if they win this game. If the Falcons can win this game, they would win their 7th straight, and they would be just a half game back of Central Washington, with the Wildcats conveniently coming into the building on Saturday. So it'll be a couple of tough tests for the Falcons this weekend. But so far, they have been up to the challenge. Falcons shoot 58% in the first half. Nighthawks 42%. Falcons are 4 out of 7 downtown, and the Nighthawks 3 out of 11. Nighthawks have been to the free throw line 8 times and knocked down 5 of them. The Falcons have yet to get to the free throw line. Falcons with the edge in rebounds at 16-10, which is really not a ton of rebounds for a half of basketball. But both teams shooting the ball fairly well. Each team has put up 26 shots. Falcons have knocked down 15 overall, and the Nighthawks have knocked down 11. And we mentioned a moment ago, going into halftime, that the Falcons have turned it over 6 times. The Nighthawks have turned it over 3 times. So really, neither team turning the ball over a lot. The Falcons have turned it over 6 times, and the Nighthawks have cashed those in. 12 points off turnovers. Falcons have 6 points off turnovers. Individually, it was 11 points from Briggs Randstrom, and he went 4 out of 7 from the floor, 2 out of 5 from downtown, had 3 rebounds. They don't have anybody else with more than 6. Kai Dixon was 6, and Easton Reagan off the bench was 6. And for Seattle Pacific, Owen Moriarty goes for 12. He was 5 out of 8 from the floor, 3 out of 3 from downtown, and those threes were back-to-back. Chips in 2 rebounds. Mason Landeck 7 points. Trace Evans and Jackson Knapp with 6 apiece, and Knapp also with 6 rebounds. Jonas Latour had 3. And the Falcons got 3 players in off the bench, Coleman, Sandberg, and Schoenerstedt, but none of them registered any points in the game. I was unsure earlier whether that was it was a 2-point deficit or a 1-point deficit that the Falcons overcame at Western Washington in the final seconds. It was a 2-point deficit. Grant Coleman hit a 3 to give them a 1-point win, 64-63. That was a low-scoring game and a weird game because Moriarty had only 2 and Latour had only 1. Not typical for those 2 players. Looking around the GNAC, I mentioned Montana State Billings knocked off Central Washington. Billings is now 8-6. So is Western Washington, as they win tonight as well. And so those teams tied for 5th. Seattle Pacific in 3rd right now. Northwest Nazarene in 2nd. Seattle Pacific with a big win over St. Martin's at the beginning of February, on February 1st. And that extended their win streak. As I mentioned, they had wins over the Alaska schools, then they beat Western Oregon, and then St. Martin's, and then went on the road last week to beat Simon Fraser and Western Washington. Northwest Nazarene and Central Washington, though, the top 2 teams in the GNAC right now. And Falcons really with kind of a make-or-break point in their season here, where if they can keep this momentum going, they are going to be among the top seeds in the tournament, or they could take a step back, and we'll see how things play out here. Simon Fraser is at St. Martin's, and as I mentioned, Western Washington defeated Western Oregon. Montana State Billings defeated Central Washington. The Alaska schools are off tonight, and they will tangle in Fairbanks on Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 3 p.m. tip Alaska time, which will be 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, it'll be 4 o'clock here. As we are ready for second half action, and the Falcons will inbound to begin the second half of play. And Knapp gets it into Landeck, and away we go with second half action. Here's Moriarty for Knapp. Knapp being guarded by Dixon, and went behind his back, but Harvey comes up with the steal, and then Harvey gets tripped up. And a foul. And this one is going to go actually on Jonas Latour. No, I didn't see that correctly. It is on Jackson Knapp. I have a side view here of what the official is showing the scorers table, and I thought I saw 4 fingers, but it was just 3. Knapp commits his first foul of the game. And he definitely was the one that tripped up Harvey. Here's Dixon trying to get around Knapp, kicks it back out to Harvey. And now Randstrom thought about it, kicks it back out to Bergerson. He's going to take a long 3 over Landeck, and that one is off the mark. And Moriarty with the rebound. Biggie Bergerson tonight, now just 1 out of 4 from downtown, and just has 4 points as he knocked down a 3 and a free throw in the first half. Landeck in the post to Evans, and now Bergerson knocks it away and ends up with it. Gets it ahead to Dixon, and Dixon has an easy lay-in. Kai Dixon with the lay-in there. And he's got 8 points in the ball game. Averages almost 19 a game. Here's Moriarty on the right wing. Gets it in the post to Evans. Kicks it back out. Moriarty's got an open three and is a little bit too strong on that one. Dixon with the rebound. Nighthawks with an opportunity to tie or take the lead on this possession. Here's Harvey getting into the paint and blocked by Evans. But a foul called. And they're going to get Moriarty for the foul there. And that'll be his third. It sends Yaru Harvey to the free throw line. And Harvey was 1 of 2 at the line in the first half. Misses on the first one here. Coming into the game, Harvey a 76% free throw shooter. Logan Kinlock going to get in here for Owen Moriarty early in the second half. And I think that that's a move to get Moriarty a breather because he's in foul trouble. He's got 3. As Harvey knocks down the second free throw and gets the Nighthawks to within a point. We didn't see Logan Kinlock in the first half, but he's out there now. As the redshirt sophomore out of Yakima, Washington, gets his first minutes in this game. Trace Evans kicks it out. Landeck, now Kinlock over to Latour for a 3. Jonas Latour with a quick release, and the 3 ball is good for Latour. And some defense by the Falcons here, and Jackson Knapp scoops up the loose ball. Here come the Falcons back the other way, a 4-point lead. Landeck feeds it to Knapp. Knapp down the left side, being guarded by Dixon. Looks out and gets it to Landeck. Kinlock swings it over to Latour and tried to go in the post to Evans. Evans collects it and couldn't get the pass through. And now the Nighthawks back the other way. Here's a 3 on the way, and it's off the mark from Sullivan Menard. Falcons back the other way. Kinlock chases it down. And he's looking for somewhere to go with it, being guarded by Menard. Gets it to Evans, and the Falcons will set up a possession. They lead by 4. Looking to keep their win streak intact as Knapp has it taken away, and the Nighthawks back the other way. Harvey gets fouled. Kinlock reaches in, and Harvey was going to go around Kinlock if Kinlock didn't reach out and grab him there. That's his first. Kinlock's got still 4 fouls left to play with. Moriarty's only got 2. He has 3 fouls, just to clarify. As Grant Coleman will come back in now for SPU. And if you're Owen Moriarty, you don't want to pick up the 5th foul. You can pick up a 4th one. Here's Dixon going back to his right. Coleman comes to get him. Bergerson with it now. Trying to drive on Coleman. Kicks it now to Ranstrom. Shot clock running down. Ranstrom with the jump hook over Kinlock, and Ranstrom puts it in. He's got 13 in the ball game, and the Nighthawks back within 2. Close ball game all the way, despite the fact that Northwest Nazarene went on a 14-0 run. They just went up by 9 at that point. And here's Landeck. Turnaround jumper, and that one rattles home for Landeck. He wanted a foul on that one as well. Didn't get it. But Landeck gets it to rattle home and gets the Falcons back in front by 4. 39-35. Bergerson gets it to Ranstrom. And now here's Harvey driving to the top of the key. Dixon going to step back and shoot it over Knapp, and that one goes down for Kai Dixon. Dixon, the transfer from most recently North Carolina Central, but he's a native of Toronto, Ontario. Here's Kinlock taking a three from the top of the key, nothing but net. Logan Kinlock splashes one home, and the Falcons lead it by 5. 42-37, 15 minutes to play. Neither team has led by double digits in this game. Nighthawks' largest lead was 9. As Bergerson slips a pass through to Randstrom for the lay-in. Good assist there from Bergerson, and Randstrom's got 15 points in the game. Randstrom averages 8.3, so he's well over his season average. Coleman gets it to Landek at the top of the key, being guarded by Bergerson. Goes around him and then pulls up for 3 and misses. And Dixon with the rebound. 3-point deficit for the Nighthawks. And Randstrom is going to try to even the score, and he does. Briggs Randstrom with 18 points in the ballgame. The Falcons have not had an answer for him. 42-42. Kinlock out to Landek. And Landek, again, playing through some contact now. They get Harvey for a foul. As he kind of bumped Landek a couple of times, and they blow the whistle the second time. This will take us to the under 16 timeout. We're under 14, actually. It's 13:54 left on the clock. 42-42 your score. And we'll be back to Royal Brougham Pavilion in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
A champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, 42-42 with 13:54 to play. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons will have possession, and Owen Moriarty coming back in. Kinlock will stay out there. Landek is off the floor at the moment. Evans on Foster. And Evans taking him down low and gets it up and in with the left hand as he gets around Zane Foster. 7-footer out of Puyallup, Washington. And the Falcons retake the lead 44-42 on the bucket by Evans. He's got 8 points in the ballgame. Kai Dixon with a season average of 18.9 points per game as misses on this one. And the Falcons with Moriarty chasing down the loose ball there and getting possession back for SPU. Didn't mention that Dixon is third in the conference in rebounding. Jackson Knapp is first. And that's based on per game average. But Dixon is over 8 rebounds a game. Knapp over 9. And Knapp gets underneath Dixon and lays it up and in. Jackson Knapp, a good move to the bucket there. And he's got 8 points in the ball game. Falcons lead by 4. Trying to knock off the number 2 team in the conference and supplant them as the number 2 team in the conference. As here is Bergerson. Now Easton Reagan, with it. And here's Dixon driving. Kicks it out. Reagan, a deep three from the top of the key. That one off the back iron, no good. And the rebound ends up in the hands of Evans. And the Falcons with possession up 4. Here's Jackson Knapp getting it in the post to Evans, being guarded by Zane Foster. Evans backs down Foster. Backs him down some more, kicks it out to Knapp. And now Knapp back in the post to Evans, and Evans couldn't get the shot to go. And is tapped out, and Horde collects the rebound. Here's Reagan. And now Foster will swing it to Bergerson. Bergerson looking to get it back to Foster, and does, and he's got Moriarty on him, but Moriarty steals the ball and ends up going out of bounds, knocking over a few chairs in the process. And that takes us to the under 12 timeout. Nighthawks are going to have to clean up the chairs. Somebody will come over and help them out. 46-42, Falcons in front by 4. We'll step aside on the SP webcast. Back inside Royal Burn Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons lead it by 4, 11:34 to play in the ballgame. Falcons are shooting 59% from the floor, 55% from downtown. No free throws for SPU in this game so far. And I think they will get to the line before this one is said and done. But the Nighthawks 6 out of 10 from the free throw line. And they have possession. Harvey being guarded by Landek, who's back out there. And Moriarty comes from behind, and they're going to get Moriarty for the foul. And Kefri Fazio not happy with the call there. But they do get Moriarty for the foul, and that is his 4th with 11:24 to go. Yaru Harvey gets to the free throw line. And Harvey is 2 out of 4 from the stripe tonight. And now make it 2 out of 5 as he misses on the first. Kenlock will come back in for Moriarty. And Sullivan Menard will come back in. And Horde will check out. Nighthawks do not have a deep bench. Harvey knocks down the free throw. Just 9 players active tonight. And the Falcons have a few active. Falcons will actually play their senior day game on Saturday. They're going to play their last 3 of the season on the road. So here's Jackson Knapp getting it back out to Schoenerstedt. And now Landek gets it in the corner to Kinlock. Schoenerstedt for Knapp. Shot clock running down. Knapp gets it out to Kinlock. He's going to take, or to Landek rather. He's going to take the 3 and he's going to knock it down from the top of the key. Mason Landek with 12 points in the game. And the Falcons lead it by 6. Their largest lead was 8. That was way back when it was 11-3 early in the ball game. And as I mentioned, Northwest Nazarene led by as many as 9 shortly after that. They led by 9 at, it was 24-15 when they had their largest lead. Here is Randstrom, another 3 from the top of the key. That one off the mark. Latour with the rebound. And the Falcons back the other way with a 6-point lead. Landek will get it to Jackson Knapp. And he'll get it back to Landek at the top near the half court circle. Landeck skies that one up over Menard and puts it in. A high arcing shot there from Mason Landeck, and he's got 14 points in the ballgame. And it's an 8-point lead for SPU, which matches their largest of the night. Vicky Bergerson waiting to get back in the game, as we're down under 10 minutes to play. SPU trying to pick up win number 7 in a row. Here's Reagan getting to the bucket and goes up over Kinlock and scores. Easton Reagan now with 8 points in the game. And the Nighthawks cut it to 6. Landeck for Schoenerstedt, being guarded by Dixon. And Schoenerstedt will take it toward the bucket, and he throws it away as Randstrom comes up with it. And now we get a whistle, and Landeck and Randstrom kind of exchanging pleasantries there behind the play, and the officials blow the whistle. And we're going to call an official's timeout here. They get a foul on Landeck, and they want to take a look on the monitor. They didn't call it technical, but they may be looking at whether there was contact to the head or neck area on Randstrom. They did call a common foul on Mason Landeck, but they're reviewing to see if that needs to be upgraded, possibly to a flagrant. As we'll get word here shortly after the officials take a good look at the replay on the monitor. 9:19 left on the clock, and this was well behind the play out near midcourt. As Landeck got tangled up with Randstrom. Mason Landeck definitely has got some fire in him, and he has been able to really channel it and play well for most of the season now. Really, at the beginning of the season, he was really struggling to make a good impact for the Falcons, but was demoted from the starting lineup for a few games, and then regained his spot in the starting lineup, and has really come on and played really good basketball for the Falcons as of late, and has been one of the keys to the Falcons going on a 6-game win streak, trying to make it 7 here tonight. Falcons are shooting 61% from the floor and 58% from downtown. Northwest Nazarene 46% overall, 25% downtown, just 4 out of 16. Still, the Falcons have not gotten to the free throw line, but they have out-rebounded the Nighthawks 21-13. The Nighthawks are 7 out of 12 at the free throw line. We are now going to get an announcement here, I believe, as I am up behind some glass off to your right, up above the Nighthawks bench, and so I'm not able to hear anything that's being said to the scorer's table, but the official is making an announcement to a couple of people down there, the official scorer and the public address announcer. Actually going to call, I believe they are going to call an intentional foul. And let's see, that's what I... No, it's a flagrant. So Randstrom at the free throw line, knocking in both free throws, and he's got 20 points in the ballgame. And Landeck committing a flagrant one. Now, I missed the rest of the announcement. Jonas Latour is at the free throw line. And let's see if we can... they announced... Yeah, I missed the second part of the announcement there, where and it had to have been Randstrom that got tangled up with Landek, and so they both get called for, and I think it was most likely a flagrant against Randstrom as well. So not often you see a double flagrant foul, and we'll try to confirm that that's what the call was, but I believe, based on what happened there, that is what happened. Schoenerstedt throws it over the head of Latour, but we get a foul called, though, as Easton Reagan gets called for the foul. And so the Falcons will keep possession, and the shot clock will reset to 20. And the Falcons catch a little bit of a break there. And Schoenerstedt kind of airmailed that one out of bounds. But Falcons will keep possession. They lead by 6, so both teams knocking down 2 free throws with nobody else on the lane. And so what was down to a 4-point lead gets back now to a 6-point lead. Jonas Latour has had a relatively quiet night until right there he almost threw down a dunk, couldn't get it to go down, and he steps outside the arc and knocks down a 3. So Jonas Latour couldn't connect on the dunk, and then 3 seconds later he's putting in a 3. And Jonas Latour now with 11 points for SPU. And it's a 9-point lead, the largest of the night for the Falcons. Big turn of events there. Jonas Latour couldn't get the dunk to go down. And now Randstrom comes up short on the 3. And the Falcons will take it back with 8:24 to play. Kai Dixon in for Easton Reagan for NNU. And Latour, with the 2 free throws a moment ago, and then the 3 there, and he seemed like he's had a quiet night, but he's in double figures with 11. Here's Knapp being guarded by Dixon. Gets it to Landek. Landek being guarded by Harvey. Gets it over to Latour. And Latour is going to pull up from about 15 feet out on the baseline, and he misses off the back iron. And the Nighthawks with the rebound. Here's Randstrom taking another 3, and that one goes down. He had plenty of time to set his feet. And Briggs Randstrom with 23 in the ball game. 56-50. Falcons by 6. Here's Landek for Knapp. Knapp in the post for Evans. Evans looks down, looks for Kinlock coming down the lane, gets it to him, but Kinlock can't get the lay-in to drop. And now back the other way. Evans with the block on Randstrom. And that goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Nighthawks. So the Falcons will take it back. We get to the under 8 timeout here. 56-50. Falcons with the lead. And we'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Don't go anywhere. We got a good ball game here.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
A champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
back inside Royal Rowan Pavilion. 7:18 to play. Falcons with a 6-point lead, 56-50. Neither team has led by double digits. Each team has led by 9 at one point. And the Falcons most recently had a 9-point lead. As the ball inbounded to Landak. And the Falcons trying to extend that lead back on this possession. Here's Knapp thinking about it. And kicks it out to Latour instead. Now Landak is going to go around Harvey. He's going to pull up for a long two. And he puts it in. Mason Landak with 16 points in the ballgame. And the Falcons lead it by 8 with under 7 minutes to go. That's a Menard rather. Randstrom's out there as well. Menard taking the 3 from the top of the key, and that one is off the mark. He gets his own rebound as it kicks back out to him. Here's Bergerson. And it's taken away. Landak ends up with it. And the Falcons with an 8-point lead trying to push it to double digits on this possession. 6:30 to play. Landak driving on Harvey. Puts up the shot, draws the foul. And Mason Landak drawing the foul on Yaru Harvey. And the Falcons are going to get to the free throw line for the... No, I'm sorry, not the first time tonight. They are 2 for 2, and this was not a shooting foul either. So it was just a moment ago for Seattle Pacific that Jonas Latour. And those free throws were with the clock stopped. That was the flagrant foul. And so the Falcons have not gotten to the free throw line on a play in regulation or a free throw with people on the lane as this shot misses by Menard. And Latour with the rebound. Landak will walk it across midcourt with under 6 minutes to play. And again, the Falcons an opportunity to push the lead to double digits on this possession. Kinlock will get it to Moriarty. Kinlock has chipped in some big minutes here in the second half with Moriarty in foul trouble. Here's Landak, a 3 on the way, and that's off the iron. No good. Rebound to Jackson Knapp. And Knapp trying to fight for position there. He's able to get it to Evans, and Evans scoops it up and in, and the Falcons lead it by 10. Under 5.5 to go. Falcons gunning for second in the conference. Here is Randstrom for a 3, and that one's off the mark. Rebound to Latour. Falcons back the other way. Landak across midcourt, and he draws a foul. And it's going to go on Menard, I believe. As that is now the 5th. It is on Menard. 5th team foul on the Nighthawks. 5 on the Falcons as well. Reagan comes back in, and so does Owen Moriarty. And Kenlock to the bench. But he has filled in for Moriarty. Moriarty checks back in with 5:13 to play, and he's got 4 fouls in the game, trying to avoid picking up number 5. Falcons with a 10-point lead. Here's Landak being guarded by Bergerson, and gets it to Evans in the post. Evans sends it out to Latour. Now Landak swings it over to Moriarty. Moriarty's going to step around, get into the lane, and he'll kick it back out to Landak. 5 on the shot clock. Landak launches a 3, and that one off the back iron, no good. Rebound to Reagan. And here's Harvey across midcourt now for Northwest Nazarene. Got trapped underneath and was able to draw the foul. And that one goes on Evans. And that's just his first. 6 fouls, so the next one will put the Nighthawks in the bonus. Grant Coleman will come back in. And he'll come get Trace Evans. 4:42 to play. Still a long way to go here. Here's Harvey with Coleman on him. And Dixon now over Knapp. A 3 on the way. No good. Rebound to Coleman. Coleman using that big body. And he's a 6'8", 230 out of Savoy, Illinois. Here's Knapp. Kicks it over in the corner. Now Coleman a 3 on the way, and that one off the rim. Kicks back out. Coleman chases it down. Falcons keep possession alive. Now ticking down toward 4 minutes to play. Moriarty probes, gets into the lane, trying to go around Reagan, and tried to get it to Knapp, but Knapp unable to control it. It's out of bounds, back to the Nighthawks. Final media timeout of the game. We're under 4, 3:56 to be precise. Falcons lead it by 10, 60-50. We'll be right back on the SP webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. Final 3:56 to go here, and the Falcons with a 10-point lead over the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks. And let's see if the Nighthawks have another run in them here. Falcons trying to win for the 7th straight time. First 4 of those were at home. Then they went out on the road and got 2 more last week at Simon Fraser and at Western Washington. Dixon for Randstrom, and now Harvey driving down the lane, gets around Knapp and puts it up and in. Yaru Harvey takes it to the bucket and scores, and he's got 7 points now in the ballgame. Here's Moriarty fighting through a couple of defenders, and he'll get it down low to Coleman. Coleman will kick it back out, and the Falcons trying to run a little bit of clock here. Still a lot of time left in this game. As this one, Landek for Knapp. Knapp gets to the bucket, lays it up and in, and draws the foul. Jackson Knapp with 3:17 to go puts the Falcons back up by 10 again. And Knapp will head to the free throw line to try to convert a 3-point play. Jackson Knapp on the season is a 68% free throw shooter, and this is the first time that the Falcons have gotten to the line on something other than basically the first time that other players have been on the lane, as Jonas Latour knocked down a couple of free throws earlier with nobody on the lane. And Coleman had the steal momentarily, but Randstrom gets it back. And now Reagan gets the bucket and puts it up and in. Caffrey Fazio looking for the travel and not getting it, as Reagan with the bucket. The official telling Fazio, don't come out on the floor. I'll have a talk with you here. Easton Reagan gets the bucket to go and gets to the line. Big play here as Reagan with a chance to get the Nighthawks back within 8, and he does. Easton Reagan knocks down an important free throw there. Just 4 for 6 on the season from the free throw line, 67%. But now 5 for 7. And Coleman draws the foul on Reagan. 2:50 to play. And now both teams in the bonus, both teams with 7 team fouls. And this will send Grant Coleman to the free throw line. Coleman, and this will be a 1-and-1. Coleman is only 1 out of 3 from the free throw line on the season. So getting to the line is not really part of his game, and he misses off the back iron on this one. Misses the front end of a 1-and-1. And free throw is going to be critical. Moriarty wrestled it away from Harvey. It's a held ball, and the Nighthawks with the possession arrow. They'll keep possession here. Trace Evans will come back in for Grant Coleman. There's still a lot of time left in this one. 2:43 to play. Pass comes into Bergerson. We haven't seen his younger brother on the court, and I don't believe he's here. Randstrom puts the ball up and in, and the timeout called from the bench from Northwest Nazarene. The Nighthawks are within 6 with 2:35 to play in the ball game. Briggs Randstrom with 25 points in this game tonight. We will keep it here. I want to check to see if I can get curious whether this is a season or career high for Randstrom, and we may not find that out within this timeout, but I'll take a look here. Randstrom averaging less than 10 a game. Transferring from Idaho State, from Eagle, Idaho. And they make this a full timeout. Thought that it was going to be just a 30-second timeout. And his season high was 22 in early January against Central Washington, so he has eclipsed, and this is his high point total with Northwest Nazarene. That's all the stats that I'm able to see on the website here. But Randstrom with a great game tonight for the Nighthawks, keeping them in this game. The Falcons have really been able to limit Biggie Bergerson, as he's only got 4 points in the game. And those were all in the first half. And the Nighthawks are without a few players, including Aaron Murphy, the redshirt senior out of Tracy, California. And he is not with the team tonight. Knapp loses it into the backcourt. And here's Dixon going to throw it down with two hands. And that gets the Nighthawks back within 4. A big turnover there. Kai Dixon with the bucket. The dunk. And it's a 4-point lead as the Falcons trying to get it across, get it in first, and get it across midcourt. And Landeck will do so. 2 minutes to play. 4-point lead for the Falcons. They led by as many as 10 not long ago, but the Nighthawks have been able to trim it back down to a 2-possession deficit. Latour swings it over to Landeck. 4 on the shot clock. Landeck drives, puts up the floater, couldn't get it to go. Dixon with the rebound. And here come the Nighthawks trying to get back within a possession. Bergerson gets it to Randstrom. And now Bergerson will take it back at the top. Here's Dixon driving down the lane, trying to get around Latour, and does, and wanted a foul and didn't get it. Latour with the defense. Now we get a whistle as Landeck is on the floor. And we're going to get a foul called on Egan. Try that again. Easton Reagan. As that is the 8th team foul now on Northwest Nazarene, and Landeck will have a 1-and-1 coming up. Grant Coleman checking back in for Trace Evans. Mason Landeck, a 75% free throw shooter on the season, and he's hit a lot of big ones for SPU in recent weeks. In particular, gets the first one to go here. And he will get a second one. Landeck was 17 in the ball game, and the Falcons with a 5-point lead. 1:20 to play. Falcons are either going to vault over Northwest Nazarene into second, or Northwest Nazarene, if they can come back and pull this one out, they would jump into a first-place tie in the conference with Central Washington. Central Washington will be here, as here is Bergerson taking a 3, and that one goes down. And a timeout again called by Northwest Nazarene. It is a 3-point lead for the Falcons, 65-62. Bergerson has been quiet tonight, but he hit a big three right there. 1:06 left in the game. And both teams talking things over. This one tightening up. Second place in the conference on the line. And if the Falcons win this one, they will have an opportunity actually on Saturday with Central Washington coming into the building to pass them for first in the conference. As with wins, first of all tonight, which is far from a foregone conclusion, with over a minute left in just a 3-point game here. But if they are able to hang on and knock off the Nighthawks here, and then knock off the Wildcats on Saturday afternoon, that'll be a 4:15 p.m. tip. Falcons would get to 11-4 in conference, and it would be good for first in the conference. As Falcons with Moriarty going across the timeline and getting it to Landak. Falcons need a bucket on this possession to go back up by 2 possessions. Here is Evans, gets it to Knapp, and Knapp puts it up and in and draws the foul. Jackson Knapp will go to the free throw line. Big time assist there from Trace Evans. And the foul committed there by Easton Reagan. He'll come out now as Sullivan Menard will come back in. Big time bucket from Knapp, big time assist from Evans, and the Falcons lead by 5. Knapp trying to convert the 3-point play here. And he does. Falcons have not shot a lot of free throws tonight, but they have hit some here in the late going. And they are now 6 out of 7 at the line as Harvey comes down the lane, misses off the back iron. Nighthawks were trying to get it back, but the Falcons end up getting it to Knapp. He sprints down the floor and gets fouled with 29.7 left on the clock. And the Falcons looking like they are going to pull this one out. Still some time left, but Northwest Nazarene is going to need to convert a few shots here. And they're going to review this one. And John Hawkins quickly with the clipboard drawing up a play here for the Nighthawks as Knapp came down the floor and got fouled. And now they're going to take a look on the monitor. And they may be looking at the clock. They may also be looking at the foul itself. But it's the 10th team foul on the Nighthawks, and the shot clock is off with 29.7 left. And the Falcons with a 6-point lead at the moment. 68-62. The officials get together. Not a long review. And they're going to bring the... I think they're just getting the teams back on the floor. And one official having a word with Kefri Fazio. Jackson Knapp will go to the free throw line. And he will have an opportunity to make this a 7-point game for SPU. They don't change the time on the clock. It's 29.7. Knapp. And I'm sorry, actually, this was a one-on-one. No, it was a 2-shot foul because it was the 10th team foul on Northwest Nazarene. So Knapp at the line for 2, and he knocks them both in. He completed a 3-point play a moment ago, but there had a 2-shot foul. And the Nighthawks now down 8. Bergerson comes up short on the 3. Moriarty collects the rebound and gets actually, timeout called from the bench by the Falcons, as Moriarty got rid of it there. But the timeout called, and some of the fans heading for the exits as not a bad crowd out tonight. We've seen bigger crowds for the SPU men's team, but 19.3 left, and the Falcons with an 8-point lead, and this one is all but in the refrigerator or the freezer, as this would take a lot of things to go right for the Nighthawks at this point. Falcons basically would have to commit a couple of turnovers quickly, and the Nighthawks would need to basically pull a Reggie Miller at Madison Square Garden, if you remember that game. We get a timeout called from Fazio again, and 19.3 left. Falcons by 8. And Fazio apparently didn't like what he was seeing there on that inbounds play, and gets another timeout called from the bench. So, still an 8-point game, 19.3 left, but the Falcons getting ready to take over second place in the conference. Whether it's short-lived or not, that's another story, as definitely things can be shaken up again on Saturday. Central Washington will be here. Northwest Nazarene will be at Montana State Billings, which Billings started off great, went on a 5-game losing streak, and now I believe they were 2-5 in conference at one point, I believe, and they've won 5 out of the last 6 now in conference. Montana State Billings I'm talking about. So they're sitting in the 6th spot in the conference right now, actually tied for 5th with Western Washington. And we'll see how things play out down the stretch here. But Billings will give Northwest Nazarene a tough game on Saturday. And, of course, the Falcons are going to have all they can handle here. This one thrown down the length of the court for Landek, and he is going to be fouled. And Harvey and Dixon tie him up, and Mason Landek will go to the free throw line. Falcons starting to smell this one. Foul called on Kai Dixon. And Mason Landek will go to the free throw line. He's got 18 points in the ball game. Landek puts in the first free throw. And he is now 3 out of 3 from the stripe. 19 points now, 5 rebounds, and gets another one. And the Falcons lead it by 10, and they're going to win this game to go to second place in the conference. Here is a 3 on the way from Randstrom. No good. Rebound to Jackson Knapp. And the Falcons have won 7 straight ball games, as they knock off the number 2 team in the conference, 72-62. Falcons win another one. They can't lose lately. They're going to have another tough one coming up here on Saturday against Central Washington, who is the conference leader at the moment. But Central Washington lost tonight at Billings. They're 10-3. The Falcons are now 10-4. A half game back, but that half game is in the loss column. Northwest Nazarene drops to 9-4, and as I mentioned, Seattle Pacific now 10-4 in conference play. They pull into second by half a game over the Nighthawks, and we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard here and see if we can get an update on what St. Martin's lost at home tonight to Simon Fraser, as St. Martin's now drops to 8-5 in conference play. Western Washington and Montana State Billings, they both go to 8-6, so they are both within a half game of St. Martin's. So conference is getting shaken up quite a bit. Most likely, the top 6 teams right now will be in the tournament, as Alaska Fairbanks is a couple of games back. And actually, they didn't play tonight, so now they're 2.5 back from 5th place. They're a tie for 5th, so really 6th place. They're in 7th. And your top 6 now look like this. Central Washington 1st, Seattle Pacific 2nd, Northwest Nazarene 3rd, St. Martin's 4th, Western Washington and Montana State Buildings tied for 5th, as the Falcons win this one here tonight by a count of 72-62. And my stats are a little bit behind, and so I'll give you what I have right now. It's showing 68-62 on the stats because it hasn't updated. But the Falcons, with a 55% shooting percentage from the floor and 47% beyond the arc. They, I know it says 6 out of 7, but they made a couple more free throws down the stretch and did not get to the line until the second half. But they only end up missing 1 free throw. Nighthawks go 45% from the floor, 26% beyond the arc, and 67% at the free throw line. And the Falcons with the rebounding edge, 31-20. They hold the Nighthawks to just 20 rebounds in the game. And again, that is maybe not quite up to date because my stats kind of froze up with 29 seconds left. And so these may not be exact. But Falcons led for the majority of this game. The Nighthawks took the lead, actually led by 9 at one point in the first half. And their last lead was at 26-24. So the Falcons led after that and for the entire second half. Northwest Nazarene only turned the ball over 6 times in the game. And the Falcons turned it over 13 times. But they had the big edge in rebounds, as Northwest Nazarene outscored Seattle Pacific 22-8 in points off turnovers. And so definitely could have taken advantage of that. But the Falcons shoot a high enough percentage and they grab enough rebounds in this one to lead throughout the second half. They win it by 10, 72-62. Let's take a quick look at some of the individual stats. Briggs Randstrom went for a season-high 25, and I believe that's a career high. I don't know that for sure because this is his first year with Northwest Nazarene, but it's a season high for sure. He had 4 rebounds. He had 3 steals as well. And other than that, they get 12 from Dixon, Kai Dixon with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and they get 11 from Easton Reagan, and nobody else in double figures. Only 5 players for the Nighthawks scored in the game, as Yaru Harvey had 7 and Biggie Bergerson had 7. Bergerson chips in 6 assists and 2 rebounds and 3 steals. Harvey had 3 steals. Randstrom with 3 steals as well. For the Falcons, they get another great effort out of Mason Landeck. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. They get 14 points, 8 rebounds from Jackson Knapp. He had 3 assists as well and a steal. They get 12 points from Owen Moriarty, and those were all in the first half. But he chips in 4 rebounds and an assist. And they also get 11 points from Jonas Latour, 4 rebounds, and 10 points from Trace Evans, and he had 4 rebounds as well. Only 6 Falcons scored in the game. Logan Kinlock, the only points off the bench, and he just had 3. And that was a 3-point field goal. Other than that, it was the Falcons starting lineup putting up all the points in the game. So the Falcons just 3 bench points. Northwest Nazarene didn't have a whole lot either. Easton Reagan came off the bench and scored 11, but he was the only player off the bench for the Nighthawks to score. 68-62, your final. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my stats. It's 72-62 is your final score. They still have it on the screen there. And The Falcons will tip off on Saturday against Central Washington. It'll be a 2 p.m. tip. I think I said 4:15 earlier. That's the women's game. The women will play the second game of the day on Saturday. They will also be playing Central Washington. But the men are going to tip off at 2 p.m. And it's their senior day already, as they're going to be on the road for their last 3 at the Alaska schools and then at Montana State Billings for the final game of the season. And senior day already upon us on Saturday. Central Washington will be in the building, and we will get started at 2 o'clock Pacific time. And the Falcons are going to be going for first place in the GNAC in that game on senior day. What a turnaround by this Falcons team, as they have ripped off now 7 wins in a row, and they take over second place in the GNAC. We're going to talk to you on Saturday, and we're going to have a great game coming up for you on the SPU webcast. Another doubleheader. The men go first, then the women will follow, both teams taking on Central Washington. And we will talk to you on Saturday afternoon. Have a good night.